can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Need to get your goods to St. Kitts and Nevis? Look no further. TDC Shipping has you covered with reliable cargo solutions by land, air, and sea. Whether it's a package from across the world or a large shipment of goods, TDC Shipping makes it easy, affordable, and stress-free. And with our Airbox service, ordering from your favorite online stores just got even easier. Ship straight to your mailbox and let TDC Shipping handle the rest. Fast, secure, and even to your door. Visit us today at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Park or Penny's Industrial Site, or call 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis. TDC Shipping, where reliable service meets unbeatable convenience. TDC, together we succeed.
Unlock the secrets to a healthier you. Join Dr. Natalie Osborne every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on WinFM 98.9 for Weekly Dose. During this 30-minute health discussion, we aim to educate and empower our listeners on the prevention of diseases, early diagnosis, and timely intervention. Don't miss out on this informative health talk where we teach you to live your best life. Weekly Dose, Tuesdays on WinFM 98.9.
Just about 34 minutes after the hour of 8, and with us in studio we have Sergeant Maguire. As we await the arrival of Constable Bell, we will start the program this morning. As the sergeant said, there's a little thing you want to touch on, so Sarge, go ahead. Good morning.
So morning to our radio listeners and everything. Okay. Yes, and so we continue to inform and educate the public, especially where there might seemingly to be misunderstanding and miscommunication with regards to specific areas of the law. Mm-hmm. And so we continue to monitor and observe, make observation as to certain irregularities. And I thought of bringing to the attention of the general public in relation to, because I think as the Bastia city area becomes more congested and parking becomes more limited, that there seems to be some kind of, I don't want to say scrabble, but some kind of way that persons can obtain parking. But we continue to encourage persons to utilize the private parking if and when you are not able to park legally. We do not encourage illegal parking in no form, shape or form. The Vehicles and Road Traffic Act speaks to, I think, is number 4, section 4, which speaks to sign and all traffic signs are to be obeyed. Let me see if I could pull up the definition for sign in relation to the Vehicles and Road Traffic Act. So until I find it, one of the things I want to highlight this morning, two of the areas that deals with parking is the reserve parking and the drop-off. Now, it is important to note that a reserve parking or a drop-off is also considered traffic restriction. All right, it is a restriction that is put in place by the licensing authority and is mitigated or being utilized or designated in relation to the discretion of the licensing authority as the law allows. And so when it comes to reserve parking, it is important to note that the reserve parking is not a personal ownership of whom that parking is assigned to. Nobody owns any kind of reserve parking, neither is where you can pay, because I've had persons asking how they can obtain a reserve parking and how they can pay and so on and things like that. Nothing like that is the case. What happens is that as the law provides, the licensing authority, it is at the discretion of the licensing authority. And so far, most persons whom reserve parking are being, the discretion is being exercised is mostly for government official in the case of the senior members of the civil service, like the permanent secretaries or the ministers of government in the case where that is requested, or any other persons of designation. Also, the discretion is being exercised in the case of a medical doctor, given the nature of the profession. So that is one of the field of profession that the licensing authority tends to exercise such discretion, or someone who is operating as an ambassador. And so these are designation. Mark you that they are restrictions. They are still restrictions, just like a yellow line, but the restriction is limited in the case where it is designated. One of the things that one must bear in mind, this, even though these signs are designated, they are not transferable. And so if you're written to the licensing authority and the discretion is exercised, particularly for John Brown can't have somebody else or give somebody else permission to park there, and so on. It is specific, and it is, in terms of the enforcement of it, there is discretion around it, but the point is, it is not an arbitrary facility that someone can utilize at any time. And so if John Brown, like for example, is out of state and there is somebody else who fills our work and so on, John Brown must now seek permission from the licensing authority for such designee to utilize that restriction in his or her absence. The drop-off is similar in the sense that with the drop-off, they are more allocated specifically for businesses. So the real purpose of the drop-off is to facilitate the unloading or offloading of products. I recognize where persons might see a drop off. They want to go in the shop. They say, oh, I'm dropping off something. I'll go and pick up something. Somebody want to do a personal errand. They park and they drop off. And then they go on and say, I went to drop off something. No, that is not how the drop off is being used, the purpose of the drop off. It is specific. A matter of fact, there are some areas where there are specific timing for that drop off to take place. Sometimes it might be between 11, 3 p.m., morning, afternoon, but remember, everything is done with the management of the flow of traffic. And because of the congestion, we cannot have parking all over the place because some of the streets, we have a lot of streets, but they are narrow streets, and they cannot accommodate parking on both sides to allow a free flow of traffic in the case of a one-way street. And so sometimes where parking is permitted on one side, then parking cannot be allowed on the opposite side because you'll have to always have enough space. So I really want to bring that to the attention of the general public. We will continue to inform the public where that is regarded. And so if you have any question, you can feel free to ask for clarity. The other area that there are other areas within Bastia that we have been looking at in relation to have that efficiency of the flow of traffic right there outside the house here on the street by Sands Complex. We noticed that has become a permanent parking and the sidewalk. We have had complaints where persons are now forced to walk in the street and motorists using this street, they are not as cautious and considerate, which is really an offense, right? And so once we are getting concerns like that coming from the general public, we have to see how we can manage the flow of traffic, including pedestrian traffic, as well as parking. And that street in particularly, I think that there has been some relaxation in terms of the restriction, but it's really the parking. Persons are parking on the sidewalk, and so that is something we are going to look at, and we will begin to enforce restriction in that area, parking restriction in that area. And that is why we are saying that it is better that persons start explore the possibility of the utilization of private parking, because more and more vehicles are coming in. It is going to be more difficult for parking. Perhaps the business owners, institution, business places can, it might be an opportunity to enter into arrangement for the staff, some kind of thing in relation to the parking. But we continue to exercise flexibility in it where that is concerned, but enforcement is critical. We are going to enforce. So let me rest the Hortensia and turn over to Officer Bell in relation to that. If anybody have any issue they want to raise with regards to what I just mentioned, you can feel free to do so.
Yes, good morning, Hortensia. Good morning, Radio Land. I must firstly apologize for the lateness.
That's okay. It's raining outside.
Yeah. I'm not too sure exactly what all the sergeant spoke on, but based on the topic that I heard him, I just want to add with the parking, especially on the Bay Road by Rams. I don't know if you touched it.
No.
No.
Yes, the Bay Road by Rams, between Rams and Courts.
Okay.
No, that is not a parking area.
Okay.
And a lot of people are misusing it. I don't know if it's because they're not looking up properly. They just...
You mean at the sign?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a sign there. It's really for drop-off. And it's during a certain timing also. And it's for Rams and Courts.
Nobody else.
Not for not for customers to say that they're waiting for someone to come out or anything like that. And we find during the day especially, it's well packed, they're
Yeah.
well packed. They're well packed, but it's not a parking area. So when the
Okay.
trucks come now, willing to offload,
Yeah.
they have to be in the road.
Yeah, because that's an obstruction for
Yeah,
them.
they have to be obstructing the free flow of traffic
Okay.
because they don't have the space that they normally would be permitted to have there.
Okay.
So we want to discourage persons from parking in that area.
Okay.
Okay.
Our topic last week,
Yeah.
that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we stopped at number 5 because you would have already explained the reasons for matters to reach. Sorry. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
no
You had already explained the reason for matters to reach court.
Yes. So number 5, we had reached at explaining the frequent charges that stem from these accidents, which would have been careless driving, reckless driving, dangerous driving. Driving without a valid and unexpired driver's license, driving when not covered insurance, and taking without the consent of the owner and permitting another to drive when not covered by insurance. Now, there's a lot more offenses that can stem from the accidents, but these are some of the most frequent charges
That you see.
that we see.
Okay.
Careless driving, that would be driving without jockey and attention. Most persons would see that charge when they get the notice of intended prosecution.
Okay.
And, we have persons who are, reluctant to accept the notice because they feel as if you are telling them that they are not driving without jockey and attention. But the notice is really if the matter intends to go to the court. The officer have proof that he did inform you, verbally and written, that you may or may not be prosecuted for the accident. The officer would not come on the scene and said, hey, Hortensia, you're wrong, or Bell, you're wrong. Okay? Because, back in the past, we would have experienced, I might have come on the scene, you're my friend, I know you're wrong, but I'm telling the other party that they're wrong and they have to fix your vehicle. So it becomes conflict of interest. Yeah, so now we let that decision go based on the court.
Okay. All right.
We take whatever evidence we collected, whatever facts we have to the court, and the magistrate determine who he or she found to be at fault for the accident.
Right, and it's important to add to that the notice is a procedural aspect of the investigation. In fact, in the law, it states that you cannot prosecute someone for driving without due care and attention, careless driving, reckless or dangerous driving, unless they have been served a notice of intended prosecution, or they have been informed that they will be prosecuted. And so that is really a procedural requirement in the law. So that is something that's fundamental and the investigator must comply with. However, there is an exception in the law where that is concerned. If the person makes it difficult to be served the notice, because you can serve the notice at the scene or you can serve the notice within 21. Yeah, you can serve the notice within 21 days. And so if the officer, having arrived at the scene and might not have in his possession the notice at the time, or opted to continue investigation before he issued the notice, and that person creates difficulty, like making himself difficult to find within that time frame, there is an exception in the law that if you create that difficulty, then it doesn't matter whether or not you have received a notice, you can be prosecuted still.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, but we try to encourage the officers, well, especially the traffic department. We have our files ready when we go to the accident scene. The medical forms, the notice. There might be times that the officer might reach on the scene and he's out of notice based on how much accidents he had during the day.
Oh, so you get the notice there and then?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you send the notice or you send a bailiff with the notice to
No.
me.
No.
Oh,
We
okay.
have 21 days to serve that notice. But to avoid having to go and look for that person after the
Right
fact,
there and then.
we give them the notice right there at the scene.
Is the notice in carbon copy form so you can have yours so they cannot say, oh, Officer Bell didn't give me nothing?
Yeah, we give them copies. But we hold it.
Oh, you got the original,
Yes,
they get the
yes,
copies.
yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, but
All right.
and if there's a case where there's no carbons, the officer would write up both notice and ask the person to sign them.
Okay, got you.
Okay.
Got you.
Sometimes people refuse to sign the notice. That's their obligation. We cannot force them to sign, but we will take a note to say that that person refused to sign the notice.
So, okay. So, what if they don't show up to court? I know you said you leave a note or whatever. How else could you find them if they decide to relocate a particular day? Just go hide out by the friends then.
Well, the notice is not the court date.
Okay.
The notice is not the summons to appear to the court.
It's
The
just the
notice is the
intent.
formal notification to inform you that you may or may not be prosecuted.
Okay, got you.
For the offense.
Okay.
Okay. If the matter is taken before the court now, at least you don't come to the court and you say, I don't remember anything about this. Nobody tell me that we were going to court. The officer did inform you.
Yeah.
And when we give both parties, for example, I might have given you a notice and given Sergeant Maguire notice, but Sergeant Maguire comes to the court now and said, hey, I don't know nothing what the officer is speaking about. You now have your notice to say, well, I was a witness. I witnessed the accident. I witnessed the officer being present at the scene. He did serve me a notice also, and I did witness Officer Maguire
Getting one as well.
being the other person involved in the accident.
Okay.
So the more facts, the better for the officer. And
Yeah, all right. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk. Okay, we lost that caller. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk. Good morning. Hello?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Pretend here,
Hi.
and the guest. Please allow me, should you wish. The other day I was looking at a dramatic clip where the big officer there, from his name, was arrested, I assume, for some kind of traffic violation. If I may ask, what was the outcome of that? I mean, because to me it didn't look good how that young man was roughed up or what. I mean, I don't know the whole story. I try to call in to get some kind of clarity. Because, sometimes people resist arrest and sometimes officers abuse their duties. So, out of curiosity, I wonder if there was a guilty plea on that gentleman or what really went down. Not only me, others are interested in the outcome of that. I guess the officer might know to whom the concern. I will leave it right there.
Okay, and I'll let Officer Maguire answer that.
So the matter for which I believe you're referring, it's sub judice, meaning that it's before the court. So I will not comment on the matter. But to answer your question in relation to whether the person has been charged, yes, the person has been charged. The person has been given 6 charges in relation to having an unlicensed vehicle and driving without insurance, and also with regards to the other offenses of resisting arrest and the other like.
And the story clarified. No insurance.
Say that again. Hello?
Notified, the driver has no insurance.
I just told you what the charges are.
Well, I don't even have to know the charges. One of the charges is driving without insurance. But just the physical part of it, and resisting arrest, will speak with them. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, caller.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Oh, someone says on the wall that they think that the traffic department need to urgently refresh the lines by Best Buy Budrock and remove the pull-off lane coming down from Budrock. Drivers don't use it correctly.
The pull-off lane?
Yeah.
I think
from Budrock.
Yeah.
Persons
that's the
are
best
using
buy.
it as a slip lane.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have observed
And
it.
I think you said that's not the case,
and
right?
that it's not a slip lane. Persons are using it as a slip lane. It's a pull-off lane. Yeah, but
Should anything
persons are,
happen?
because they get the impression when you're coming up from the Bay Road, you know, you have that slip lane that you can turn left
yeah.
to go to
Birdrock.
Rams. To Rams.
Oh, that one.
Yes,
Okay,
so
I get
they're
what you're talking
using
about.
that one coming from Birdrock to
That's the same.
as the same, but
And
it's
that's
not.
not.
It's not.
Okay.
Yes. So,
So-
we would look into the refreshment of the
Lines?
lines.
Okay.
I think they would know the situation still remains the same. Yes. But
So there's no moving of that lane for that person that requested that.
the removal of the lane.
The slip lane. Yeah. Well, not
It's
slip
not a
lane.
slip lane. But
I apologize for the officers. Them give me a ticket today. I don't use it as a slip lane.
well, I would have to let the sergeant make his observation.
Well, you answered it very correctly.
But before that was placed there, we did go and make our assessment. You know, it's just that persons are not driving with due care and attention. They're not paying attention to the signs and the road, because you would see that they are what we call slanted lines in that to show it's not a lane. It's not a lane for you to continue to drive.
Because isn't that the same line that will continue on for when you're coming out of Best Buy now and you're making a left onto the Bay Road to continue to wherever you're going in that direction?
No.
Okay.
That's after you have passed the flower place. After you pass KFC coming towards Rams area, on the left side, just outside of Best Buy, that is the lane persons are using incorrectly. It's a pull-off. What persons are using when they're coming down and the light is red, they continue in that lane still and make their
And
left
go-
to
yeah,
go down to the
To
Bay
go
Road.
down, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's incorrect.
Okay.
And the overtaking in the slip lane on the bypass. When you're coming from St. Peter's direction,
Oh, I don't know that one. I only know the one that's by electricity there. Where people like to go in the corner there and catch you off guard.
yeah, but there when you're coming from St. Peter's, the
I got
slip
you.
lane that
TDC
was just-
roundabout.
yes, that
Yes.
was newly
Yes,
constructed.
okay, got you.
One persons are using it for their pull-off to go
Understand,
and
pull-off.
patronize the vendors on the opposite side, and two persons are overtaking in that lane.
Oh boy. Oh boy, we
So
don't listen.
they're using the lanes incorrectly twice.
Wow.
The thing about it is that there is no absolute prevention of these violations. Persons, at the end of the day, persons make the decision, they take the risk. And it's sad that even in taking such risk, it results in an accident. But rest assured that those persons will be held accountable fully according to the law. Because that's why we continue to inform and we continue to educate persons as the use of the road, and each driver has a responsibility to ensure that they utilize the road within the limits of the law. And so if persons choose to do otherwise, then that's how it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and now when the officers are visiting the accident scene, they have different types of notice. You can get notice for driving without due care and attention. You can get notice for reckless driving, and you can get a notice for dangerous driving. So
And dangerous driving is causing grievous body harm, or
No,
somebody
that's wanton driving. When
That's
you,
wanton driving.
yeah, when people get injured.
Chinese driving.
Wanton.
So does that mean reckless is driving when no one gets injured? What's the difference between reckless and dangerous?
Reckless driving, it has to do with the manner of driving, given the condition of the road, the speed, the expected number of persons supposed to be using the road, the time of day, and so on. These are things that persons should be taken into consideration with the driving. Like, for example, the peak hours. Dangerous driving is very similar, but the circumstances is more serious, greater circumstances.
In terms of death and stuff
right,
like that.
in terms of death and those things. The wanton driving is where you drive dangerously, but the person like get injured as a result of your driving. So that one is not under the Vehicles and Road Traffic Act. It's more a criminal in terms of it is that charges come out of the Offences Against the Person Act, and so that carry a heaviest penalty in relation to in comparison to the traffic act.
Okay. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk. Good morning.
Good morning, officers. Good morning, gentlemen, lady.
Morning.
Thank you very much, officers, for educating the public in terms of driving. I have noticed for the past days now, I've been on the road practically early, like 5:30 sometimes, depends on what I might have to do. And I notice hardly any cars that are on the road. Sometime after 9, hardly any vehicles on the road. It appears to me like people are being very cautious in using their vehicle because of the fuel price. It's almost $20 per gallon. So officers, that is good for you.
Persons are more conservative.
The thing is, to save fuel, one have to make sure you check your tires and they're in good shape. And all of them are properly inflated to the amount of pounds pressure that it's supposed to carry. That's number one. Number two, whenever you drive past the speed of 40 miles an hour, you start burning extra fuel because you have the velocity of the wind and the car have to keep up to the momentum. Whenever you drive and stop, you're consuming more fuel because you're stopping and moving off from zero. Your revolution of your engine have to be more, so you burn more gas when you stop and start. You could be going from town to Kayan, and you do it in 20 minutes. And the same 20 minutes that you do in town, you could burn more fuel in town than what you will burn coming from Kayan, from town to Kayan. Because actually, speed limit is what? If you drive 60 miles an hour, just using the thing, you're using the clock, 60 miles an hour give you 1 mile per minute. And if you zero down, if you drive 30 miles per hour, it'll give you 2 miles per minute. So the figures are there. And what I'm saying is true. Make sure you change your oil. Make sure your engine are very well maintained. If you want to save money and you want to save gas, cut down on the speed. Over 40 miles an hour, you're burning more gas. Make sure your tires are properly inflated. Make sure you don't have to adjust the vehicle. Every time you have to check your steering wheel, you know that something is wrong with your tires, inflation. They're pulling on one side, and you shouldn't have to make those adjustments all the time. Be safe, respect others, make sure your headlamps and your lights are working properly. Those bugs could blow very easily. And let's everyone try to be safe because we are not an island by ourselves, and we need each other to survive. We cannot fight each other. We have to actually work with the police. Be happy that the police out there to represent you. They have no personal thing with anybody, against anybody. You have an accident, those are the first people to call the police, because whatever you put in the report will come out good for you. And you could go dashcam if you like to help yourself and help others. And let us stay safe and have a good week.
All
Thank you,
right.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. Thank you so much. Free consultation.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
gentlemen, anything before we wrap up?
Before we wrap up, I got a WhatsApp, and the person is asking if the police cannot exercise a little more discretion, and they are of the view that in the absence of this discretion, and I'm paraphrasing, it makes it a little challenging for police officers to get more assistance from the public in not only non-traffic accidents but non-traffic accidents. A crime might happen and they may know, but because of some bad experience, Officer Cartencia, I had with Officer Cartencia, I may not give the information as freely as I could or I should to assist in your investigations. So the person is really asking if the police, and this example was used, and you referred to it earlier in your presentation, Sergeant Maguire, staying on a yellow line and say running in and just giving somebody a letter or a package or something, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and yes, that could cause an accident, but is that discretion they're saying, if something happens, I'll be the first to put up my hand and say, yes, I saw this. And in some cases, cameras, some persons have cameras around their houses, and the police would ask for access, seek permission to use this, look at the footage, so to speak, to assist in the investigation. So at the end of the day, they are encouraging the officers to exercise a little more discretion, because that could rupture or impede the assistance from the public towards the police officers.
Right. Discussion may be a very pleasant and nice word, but the definition or the expectation of it is the challenge, because my level of discretion might not be the same for the person. And people tend to think that because I was discretionate and the other person is not discretionate because the person is not accommodating to their requests. And so that is a challenge. The other thing about that, and I hear you, we are discretionate in most of the time, because we believe one of our principles of policing is policing by consent, where we always get the community and members of the community to willingly enforce our police themselves. And so you find that the enforcement comes in when people refuse to do so, or they might be a little bit too ridiculous with it, if I may say that. And so the example that you drew, for example, I don't see a difficulty if somebody just park temporary by a yellow line and say, officer, allow me to just drop off something, and the officer said it's okay. I don't see a difficulty with that. The problem with that, it becomes normalized, and there is an expectation, and people feel, and that's one of the reasons of late with the enforcement team. I insist that the officers enforce the law, because people just believe that they just have the blatant disregard for traffic restriction, yellow line in particularly. So you see a yellow line, and without any thing, you don't care who is inconvenienced, you don't care what obstruction or congestion created from your action, you just pull over your left and you're gone. And those are the things that discretion cannot be applied to. So I have a difficulty when persons are saying to exercise more discretion. We are generally being discretionate, but it's the unreasonableness and the unreasonable expectation of the public for the police when it comes to enforcement. We can police together. We police together. But the thing about it is that some people, they are somewhat lawless, and they just feel that they should do what they think they should do. Yep. And you can't allow to have that.
Okay, caller, this is our final call for this morning. Go ahead for the officers. You're live on Traffic Talk. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Let me just get straight to it directly. This is a direct, simple point. Is there areas in Bastille that have meter parking where you can just drop in a quarter and
the point that you're talking about specifically right now about people trying to run inside and run back out, and I'm only going to drop something off inside for 30 minutes. I mean, like a minute or two. Those areas will need to have like meter parking where you can just drop a quarter in and you run inside and come back up. That's the specific point I want to make. They should have areas in Vancity where they should have metered parking. Somebody can utilize the meter parking and drop in a 50 cents or a dollar, and they can take their time and take 5 minutes to run inside and come back out. And I'll leave that there. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much.
Right. So that is not in effect. There have been discussion around it, but in terms of a real decision to put it in place, it has not been done. But let me remind you that the 4th Street area with the half an hour parking, that was more or less a kind of meter parking, and it was a dry run. It is a trial as to its use, and even there are times when police officers have to enforce because people are just naturally indiscretionate. You have half an hour, people want to park for an hour, and those kind of things, and so forth. So it's just about the cooperation that we are seeing.
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk. Good morning.
Hello.
Caller.
Morning,
What's up on the radio?
Good morning.
Morning, Catencio.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Catencio.
Good morning, Jam Down. We can hear you. You don't seem like you can hear us.
Yeah, all I want to say to the police them. Yeah, I'm hearing you.
All right, you want to turn...
All I want to say to the police them is that they have to put some kind of crossing guard down by the Treasury apron. I don't kill somebody, make it look like I am doing something. You can imagine for the past 6 months, I got to escorting visitors cross there because the light is poor. What's going on? When we back the tin cop inspector then, when I call him, say you shoot on the traffic. My name here was going on. I come from up the village, coming down and some of the place, one area. There's a lot of vehicles in the country. Man, something wrong. All the people and all coming from round by where the treasury airport be. It got a park there and vehicles just rushing down, nobody care. But when anybody gets hurt, I gonna blame police. Have a good morning, Cotencio.
Okay,
Thank you, Jam Down.
Thank you, Jam Down.
I don't want you to get blamed, so yeah, it's kind of rough there. That's why I try to stay up on the step until the lights change, because I think people they don't remember us. And although we're standing there to cross, we're holding on to the wall as, not literally, but we're as close as possible. And this just by us. So I literally now I stay on the step. I don't go down there. I not.
But the lights operate function well in terms of for the pedestrian to cross.
Okay, let's say we're there prior to getting our turn to cross. People act like we're not there, and we are visible. They can see us. Like our bodies is against the plywood that's there, and it's their turn to go, and they're just as close as possible to you. Sometimes, it's
so the problem is while vehicles are passing and persons are waiting how close they are driving to the people. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
So it's something we will look at and see. I can't think of any adjustment right now other than having the plywood
at both crossings,
removed,
at both crossings, the one closest to the post office and the one where the tourists, as you rightfully say, where the tourists are, and the elderly try to come across as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before we go, Cartensia, I just want to remind the public, I think this week, Thursday and Friday, is the Agriculture Annual Open
on
Day
Kim Collins.
And Kim Collins Highway. I'm appealing to the general public to whatever restriction is in place, please comply with it, because this usually be a big event, people going and coming, school children, and so we are fortunate not to have any incident during these at this event, and we want to keep it that way. We are also appealing to the general public, when the cones are being placed, please do not throw them away. Please do not remove them, because I am very, very serious about prosecuting persons for doing such malicious act when it comes to the government property and so on. So just be mindful that restrictions are going to be in place. It's not anything going to be new. We will make restrictions in relation to the parking so that we can still have the free flow of traffic in that area. And so you're reminded to utilize the parking as you're accustomed to. There would not be any change in relation to the previous events as to this week.
All right.
Yes, and if vehicles have to be towed, they will be towed.
You heard it here first. So, gentlemen, it's always a pleasure.
Yes, thanks.
Having Traffic Talk with you every Monday. You have a great day, and I can't say have an accident-free week, but just be careful.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank
You're
you to our
welcome.
listeners.
We'll
All
take
right,
a
bye.
short break, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Life is filled with uncertainties and eventualities, but there is comfort in knowing that there are possibilities. TDC Financial Services, we're here to ease your burden. Whether it's investments or loans, we're here to help you cross this hurdle and get you closer to your goal. Help to put you in control. TDC Financial Services, we're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services, we are strong. TDC Financial Services, this is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you. Join me, Percival Hanley, this coming Friday and every other Friday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon for Heritage Matters on Win Media SKN 98.9. Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On the Ball, a weekly talk show which is on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Biff Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Biff Mills on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
What are you doing? She said, drink a root boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, she said, drink a root boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, cause when we out and we active living we life. So when we drink, we drinking. Root boy. So when we drink, we drinking. Root boy. Oh, Miss Lady, anyway you see we building up our vibes. So when we drink, we drinking. Root boy. So when we drink, we drinking. Root boy. Why?
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hosfords.
life is filled with uncertainties and eventualities. But there is comfort in knowing that there are possibilities. TDC Financial Services, we're here to ease your burden. Whether it's investments or loans, we're here to help you cross this hurdle and get you closer to your goal. Help to put you in control. TDC Financial Services, we're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services, we are strong. TDC Financial Services, this is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
And we are back on Island T, and my pen just decided it's gonna malfunction as we continue along. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome on in. And as we continue along this morning, trying to fix this pen right here, give me 1 second. As we continue along, I mentioned to Sergeant McGuire when he came in that we sent out condolences earlier to his fraternity as it pertains to Sergeant Gleneva Shaw. And I was also corrected by a listener when we mentioned the event being at the White House. It is called the White House Correspondent Dinner. However, it was not held at the White House. It was held at the Washington Hilton in Washington, D.C. So
that's a hotel.
That's a hotel. But still, if something's happening at a hotel, your whole entire detail, that hotel is...
They're going to scan a few days in advance.
And that's my thing. And I mentioned the Sergeant Gleneva Shaw because if Mr. Harris was coming to church, she comes early to church. Make sure everything is good before Mr. Harris reaches the church. So I mentioned her to tie in with that. I don't understand. Something is awry. I don't know. Something just don't seem right.
Well, I've heard the conversation that it was staged.
I don't know. I don't know.
Similarly to the event when he was speaking and the shots fired and something happened to him in his right ear.
Yeah.
And
you heard me say earlier, it's like something's always there to like basically deflect from something bigger. I don't know, like every morning you wake up, every day you wake up is something else in the world. That's why I don't, that my phone isn't the first thing I look at in terms of news and all of that, because I don't want to start my day bummed out.
And you use the beautiful word deflect. Got a lot of politicians use that when things are not going so bad or maybe miserably bad. They do something or say something or create something to deflect the public's attention from what is happening, because it is often said that we here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we only have, our memory span is just 2 weeks. I've heard 9 days. Some persons say, well, after 9 days, we're going to forget about everything.
Yeah, we stopped talking about it.
And gone back to normal. So I don't know if it's the same 2 weeks or 9 days in the U.S., but it's unfortunate.
It's human beings, you know, so I want to think it's the same thing.
It's unfortunate when others have created scenarios to draw the attention away from themselves or other situations. But there's a saying, you know, don't call wolf.
Yeah.
Otherwise, one of these days, wolf can come.
Boy.
And I always remember the little boy who said, wolf, wolf, wolf. And when the wolf came, he had a feast. But Carton here, you may not be aware, but 2 young ladies were part of history on the weekend.
Okay, go ahead, make me aware.
Casey Boyles from Buckley's and West Indies senior female cricketer, Josiah Claxton. They created history because the St. Kitts Cricket Association, they reintroduced their 2-day competition after something like about 2 decades, give or take some. We haven't had 2-day cricket here in St. Kitts. And it was reintroduced on Saturday gone there, the 25th. And it was historical because the competition was named the Andrew Weeks two-day cricket tournament. Mr. Weeks, the late Mr. Weeks, being from Sandy Point, the only umpire in the Leeward Islands to do a test match, which he did. His first test match was in Antigua, April 1983, some 83, and now is what, 43 years ago? And we haven't had a Leeward Island umpire. But the history with the females is the first time we had any female playing in that tournament. Kezzy Boyle, she's the first female to take the field. When the first innings began, she was on the fielding team. And when the team got bowled out, Jazara was playing on the other team. She didn't get to bat. However, she's the first female to bowl in the two-day competition. But not only that, she's the first female to get a wicket, and she got 2 of them. And then the other young lady, Kezzy Boyles, she's the first female to bat when she came into bat, and also the first female to hit a 4. To some, these may seem insignificant, but history is history, no matter what it is. And we may see this coming. I expect a few things going to happen. We're going to see more young females in St. Kitts playing for the male team. And 2, it's going to spread to other countries. I think in Barbados, for example, the West Indies female skipper, Hayley Matthews, she plays with a male team. And so it's not new, it's not novelty, but it's the first time in St. Kitts. So congratulations. And Casey Boyles, she's an under 19 player. She represented the West Indies last year, and she's going to be doing it again next year. West Indies under 19 in the West Indies World Cup. And so congratulations to these 2 young persons. And I have to big up Coach Sly Percy Daniel, because it's his initiative. He reached out to the teams and said, hey, this is what we're trying to achieve with these young ladies. Could you help us? And the 2 teams so far, La Poinciana and the Molineux Cricket Club, they too have to be commended highly for coming on board and say, yes, we're going to help in the development of female cricket and our female cricketers. So that is a big thing that we should all be proud of here in St. Kitts. Whether you follow cricket or not, whether you like cricket or not, Hortensia. What about you? Guyana is they are the defending champions. Do you follow cricket?
I do. But to be honest, I don't really follow the female cricket. I said that the other day that we don't really support the females. I don't know if it's because it's not as exciting as the male cricket.
You believe so?
I think so. But I support Jazara wholeheartedly. I support all the females. I don't have a problem. I'm for the ladies. But like I was saying the last time we had cricket here, you see the park? If it was the fellas, we would have had more people in the park. So the disparity is great.
Exactly.
And you mentioned insignificant. I don't think it's insignificant. The ladies should get their flowers and get their dues while they can hear us. Why would we go when they're gone, Jazara was a good... No, let Jazara and let's let Miss Boyles and everybody else hear their praises now, because they can't hear it when they're lying flat and their arms across their chest. It don't make sense. So it is significant that they get their flowers. I'm a avid supporter of Jazara. So congratulations, kudos to the ladies. Keep doing well and continue to do your best and make us proud and prove them wrong that ladies can be just as good as the men. And let's start winning and, putting us doing better than we are doing now. Because we win, but we don't really win. We could beat up Australia. We could beat up England. We could beat up Bangladesh. Just because the fellas to beat them up sometimes. Yeah, we could beat them. We just have to put our minds to it. These people practice hard, and that's my thing. Why is it Sandy Point beat up everybody every year? Why? You think Sandy Point wait until into school to say they're running somewhere, they're practicing somewhere? Sandy Point practicing year round. The students have persons that envelop them with confidence, persons that push them to the limits. I'm sure some of them children could tell you they want to tell the teacher what time of day it is or the coach what time of day it is. But they take the initiative even though they don't want to, and they do it. So we have to do the exact same thing. Why are they better than us? Because they come from a big country, nothing tall go so. We could be better, but we have to put our minds to it. We have to put the work in it, and we could bang them. How Viv and them bang them. Eh?
Indeed.
And we have better technology, we have better this now, we have better that. We could do it. But you know what? All we want to do is run around with them dog chains round with neck, and ain't winning nothing. And I'm tired of that. I don't know why Biff wake me up, because anybody else would tell Biff, before cricket, But I'm upset when they lose. Very upset when they lose. I know that they say you can't win all the time, but I want y'all to, the West Indies, both male and female, especially female, put in the hard work and you're going to see the results. Practice what your weakness or what you're weak at, and trust me, it will become a strength. So we have to put in the work. These people put in the work. Australia, hard. You think these people don't complain? They put in the work. We still ain't reached to their level of sun yet. Put in the work and we'll see the results.
Sound like you make a good coach, Cartens. You're very passionate and thing.
They're going to throw me out.
I thought you know.
That's why I said I don't know about me for you know.
But again, something historic for us here in St. Kitts and Nevis. The Penn Relays in the U.S. This is the oldest relay track and field championship in the U.S. since 1895. And Charles E. Mills Secondary School Eagles, SEMS Eagles, this is the third year they are participating. And
and they're the only school that goes to that, as far as I see.
They drew attention last year, but this year they went a step above. They won a gold medal. The ladies won a gold medal in the 4x4.
4x4, yeah. I heard you say that last Friday.
Yeah, that is tremendous. And it's a good thing that we have at least one school, but it is sad when you look at Jamaica. They have like 10 high schools, 8, 9, 10 high schools participating. And I'm hoping one of these days we're going to see Basti High, Washi, and Charlestown participating.
That's what I'm saying. What is the difference? Why can they not all collaborate? For something like the Penn Relays, we should have all the schools represented. No pun intended, Sams. Kudos that you get to go there because I know you work hard. So keep working hard and continue. But the coaches in all the schools need to incorporate and work together. Carla, go ahead. You're live in Island T.
Well, you said something as well, Cartencia, giving flowers while we are living. And right away, the late King Elimat came back about him not really getting as much as perhaps he ought to have been given, like the naming of the street and...
It might happen now.
Even knighthood.
It might happen now.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's going to happen after his past, so he wouldn't be here to enjoy it.
Yeah, he wouldn't see
his
it.
family will, but unfortunately, if and when it happens, he wouldn't be here to enjoy it. And again, condolences to the family of the late King Elimat.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live in Island T. Good morning.
Yes, hello.
Hi. Go ahead, Burl.
Yeah, I'm back. Cause that's you know, I like how the way how you show that great interest in cricket, man.
Thank
because
you.
of that, I've been listening to you a lot, and because of that, and because you got the touch being on the airwaves, I would definitely like to not. I would like to see you up in that commentator's booth one of these days.
Great idea, caller.
I don't know if you're interested in that, but I personally would like to see you up in that commentator's booth at least once, and I can say, well, Cartencia really did it. And kudos to that Charles E. Mills School. Kudos to those athletes that made it up to the Penn Relays. You know, me personally, when I left the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, you know, and I went down to St. Thomas, I represented Charlotte O'Malley High School at the Penn Relays. And that was a personal accomplishment by myself. And I really want to congratulate those athletes that went up there from St. Kitts. And that's definitely an event that we're supposed to try to get our track and field athletes in every year. And more participation, as Vic mentioned, we should try to widen the scope and get more of our high schools involved in that event, because, you know, these events, and, you know, they have another event in Gainesville, Florida that I was privy to make as well. Those two, I went to those two meets, you know, as an athlete, leaving out the St. Kitts Nevis. So those, but what we got to realize, right? Those meets are where the high school kids go to get recruited to go to college. So it's very important that we in St. Kitts and Nevis should look at those meets and be serious about sending off a contingent there.
No, I can't hear Burl.
Federation. Yeah, you can hear me better now?
Hold on, Burl. We're getting I'm getting a bad feedback in the headsets. You're sounding very low.
You're there, Burl?
Better now? Yeah, you can hear me better now?
A little bit. I have to listen keenly to hear what you're saying.
Okay, well, basically what I'm saying is that the department into the St. Kitts Nevis, which would look at sending off a contingent to those meets every year. Because that's where the students got recruited for the college, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have to leave it there since you can't hear me that well.
All right. Thank you, Burl. Sorry about that.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Your contributions are always welcome here at WinFM. And as I said, it's something that we can do nationally because, as I said, the concern the other day was, we have the sixth form students running with these little students. And the little students still beating them. So it had to be that these little students doing something extra that these big students not doing. And I'm not doing it to make fun or bring anything to light, but just showing that hard work pays off. We can't just expect to go and run against. Look, a lot of our people went to Carifta, and I've heard some of the athletes say they think they were running here, they were running for their life out there, and it shows. So we have. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T. We have to create spaces to ensure that our athletes can thrive and represent and put us on the map constantly. Caller, go ahead.
Good morning, Cotencio.
Hi, good morning.
Cotencio, good morning. Something wrong on the board there, boy. People ain't hearing how we are accustomed to hearing.
Yeah,
Cotencio,
Hi, Jan.
I want to say, I want to wish King Elimat family my condolences. And I want to tell the people, the devious people that think it's Nevis, King Elimat can't do none of them nothing. They must remember when he was on top of the wall, every gig around back here, when he full house, when he don't play, they want to pay him. You understand?
Oh boy.
And God bless him. Jamdong will be the first man there to show him respect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, you better believe it. And I'm hoping Calvin and my good friend, Warren, could bring him home. Let me see him fully laugh. Oh yes, you better believe that. Cotencio, we have a problem in the region with cricket. And what's happening right now? That man from St. Vincent, he got to resign. You can't hold a political post and the president here. He has to resign.
But hold up. Jam down, hold up. Jam down.
People love you, you know.
Thank you. But jam down, I don't think Mr. Shallows have anything to do with the performance of the players.
No, he doesn't actually.
Who had to do with the performance of Viv and Richie and Curtly and all of that? And imagine them man ain't had no fancy grounds, eh?
Exactly.
Imagine you could have run off and touched the cricketers. Now you have all kind of rules, all kind of this and all kind of that. Then now do the work.
And the technology.
Exactly. And the older ones like Richie and them trying to help them out. But they seem like they could only beat each other, especially when it comes to CPL. Why we can't bang up the rest of people them? Yeah, we don't have all the available resources, but we have to put in the work. We could do it. As I said, these people have blazing sun out there. Yeah, you might say, the training facility covered with AC. I don't see them man with no AC when they're doing the batting practice. They're in the blazing sun too. So what makes them different to us? I would like to know. What makes them different to us? Why we in the Caribbean cannot do what we need to do. We always look at Jamaica when Olympics come. We know Jamaica going to get the most medals. Why the rest of we just getting pion or barely making it to the second step and then getting thrown? What the Jamaicans do that we don't do? Look, the thought Usain was on things. And it wasn't Usain that was on things. It was the big city man that was on things. All Usain do is eat sweet potato and run for his life. Because he wanted to be somebody. Or he wanted to leave something etched in our minds that so we could always refer, remember when Usain Bolt, they run. You know, he did something great. He practiced just like the movie, The Jamaica and the Bobsled team, yeah. The team right now is not fully Jamaican, but we see from the movies how hard those gentlemen work, and they work in the hot climate where they had no snow. And when they got to the snow, they had a little problem, but the movie made it look like they worked it out. So why is it we're going to say, Jamaica going to come back with so much goals, but the rest of us can't come back with nothing? What are we doing? What are we doing? But you know, when people put their minds to something and they intend to strive for greatness, they get there. We know if we don't exercise, we're going to be fat. We want to be slim, we had to exercise. So we know what we have to do. So we need to put our mind, it's mind over matter, as we would say growing up as young people, and just get to it. Not because we're small, but we can beat the big ones. Look, David was a chunky man. He ain't beat up a whole big man, with a slingshot and a stone. Come on, we can do it. We ain't had to have everything fancy. We could do it, but no, as I say, we want to walk around with these big dark chains and we ain't winning nothing. And then we're supposed to be okay and say, and continue to support. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Unlock the secrets to a healthier you. Join Dr. Natalie Osborne every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on WinFM 98.9 for weekly dose. During this 30-minute health discussion, we aim to educate and empower our listeners on the prevention of diseases, early diagnosis, and timely intervention. Don't miss out on this informative health talk where we teach you to live your best life. Weekly dose, Tuesdays on WinFM 98.9.
Life is filled with uncertainties and eventualities, but there is comfort in knowing that there are possibilities. TDC Financial Services, we're here to ease your burden. Whether it's investments or loans, we're here to help you cross this hurdle and get you closer to your goal. Help to put you in control. TDC Financial Services, we're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services, we are strong. TDC Financial Services, this is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
You can win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4, you could get it all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with Pick 3 and $10,000 with Pick 4 when you play the Mega Ball.
You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? Let's get on the ball.
Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 and over to play.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hosfords.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
Building supplies, electrical supplies, furniture appliances, carpets and tiles. It's the company where you can get it all. All at TDC Home and Building Depot. From lawn and garden, the TVs and stereos. All at TDC Home and Building Depot. Come on down, get what you're looking for. It's all at TDC Home and Building Depot.
Buster! We run things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Not an in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste. Buster! Bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We
Yeah, it's just about 9:46 and we're back on Island T. And I'm seeing a few comments here, and one say, it's amazing how Ellie Matt is being acknowledged now, but while he was alive, he never got the true recognition, honor, or respect that he truly deserved. Truly a SKN legend. Then somebody goes on to agree with that comment and says, nothing new. People only remember you when you're gone. Now that's very sad, and I know that is true. And then someone else said, for the next few weeks, you will hear his music everywhere. But his music is still played, though, even prior to him passing on. But I get what they're saying. And hopefully it's not just for 9 days. Hopefully we get back our music up the airport so people can hear Viva St. Kitts and nobody gonna run me. Cause I don't know if that's in the song, but I like it. So I just understand what they're saying. He didn't get to see the street renamed after him. He didn't get to know if he would, as you would have mentioned, Biff, if he probably could have been knighted, or if he was going to be added to the wall over there of national heroes. And for anyone else that they're nominating or petitioning to be the next national hero, I hope it works out before that person passes on, because they won't know. They won't know. Like, we wait until people go to do this and do that, rename this. I think we should do it while they're alive so they can say, boy, at least I get a street, you know? At least I did this for this community. At least I did that for this community. So let's give people their flowers whilst they are alive. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Potencio, good morning again.
Hi.
Potencio. Hello, Potencio.
I can hear you.
Yeah, Potencio, the only thing will satisfy a man like me and element supporting them in St. Kitts and Nevis and extend around the world is to lick down the potato scale thing over there and be a corner. Poor monument with the man, he failed it. Kim Collins come and he put on the ice in it. Lord, for heaven's sake, where him at Ohio? Where in Ohio? Have a good morning, Potencio. We love him. We love him. Have a good morning.
All right. Thank you, Jam Down.
That is one passionate King Elimat fan. Jam Down.
You know, Jam Down is passionate about everything he speaks about.
That is true.
Jam Down doesn't speak with water in his mouth. He's passionate and he lets the world know. So I really hope we could get Mr. Elimat on the book with the other national heroes, Mr. El Camino Willett as well. And whom else do we have that they've been touting or speaking about for the last...
Kim Collins.
Kim Collins, yes. And I don't think anybody's too young, because somebody might say, oh, that person is too young and whatever, but I don't think so. Let's let people enjoy their accomplishments whilst they're alive and not whilst they are gone. Answer me this. Is Dr. Simmons the only national hero that knew he was a national hero? Yes. Or did the others know?
No, the others were done posthumously.
Oh, they were gone. Okay. So just... Okay. If your mic's low, there's the bad feedback in my headset.
Okay, any better?
I can hear you, but the feedback is just there.
Okay.
It's not clear at all.
Well, the national hero story, that has been going on for some time. And I don't know what's the reason, but persons have not seen it forthcoming. And I know there's a process, but maybe more of us have to get involved in the process and make the nominations. But it would be nice if the government said, we're going to take the initiative for the contribution, especially in the case of the late King Elimat. We'll probably hear that he'll be knighted, perhaps, and then a national hero at some other time. But we need to have these things while...
A little structure put up right where he grew up,
monument,
on
yes,
the Brentford tree.
A bust, yes, or something to that effect.
Yeah, nice.
But
yeah.
It will eventually come, but after the fact, after he's gone to the great beyond, like anytime now.
Yes, his family will enjoy, but he won't get to see his accolades.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Is where we say goodbye and see you tomorrow, God's Spirit. Well, I won't be here tomorrow, but I'll be here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But I won't be in tomorrow due to an early morning as usual. So have a great Monday. Have a productive week. Stay exercised. If it's your birthday and you're celebrating, have a good one. If you're mourning, continued condolences from us here at WinFM. Biff, you have a great day. Thank you, and see you on Wednesday.
Thank you very much, Cartensia, for being here. Hope you have a wonderful week. And the best wishes. See you in the next couple of days.
All righty. Thank you.
Found the sound. 98.9.
Buster! We run things, things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Not an in charge, like party party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
Life is filled with uncertainties and eventualities, but there is comfort in knowing that there are possibilities. TDC Financial Services, we're here to ease your burden. Whether it's investments or loans, we're here to help you cross this hurdle and get you closer to your goal. Help to put you in control. TDC Financial Services, we're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services, we are strong. TDC Financial Services, this is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you. Join me, Percival Hanley, this coming Friday and every other Friday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon for Heritage Matters on Win Media SKN 98.9. Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us from foundation to finish. Come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us.